Okay, let's go again. So, quite snowy outside this morning. More snow again last night. Something about recent history then. So how did WhatsApp go after that game? Did he play much 15 minutes after? He lost his game quickly after, I think. I checked yesterday, that one. Frontier. Anything exciting against the French? Tarash? Winnower? I think Winnower probably fits my style more than Tarash. Okay, this gambit's always good for a laugh. Ah, with knight c6, huh? So without the c5 rate, I think I've played this myself. I think I've had this played against me, but usually I think after accepting the gambit, not so winning the pawn and then later playing knight c6, not knight c6 immediately. I think it just blocks the c pawn. So without a sort of a free hand in the centre now, potentially. And if f6, maybe I just take and use the e5 square. You know, castle queenside, rook e1, just trying to put pressure on e6. Okay. Free hand time. So I think bishop d3 after f6 and just go for the h7 pawn. That looks good. Just bishop d3 here. Or take. Maybe just take is easier. I just take and then bishop d3. So he's using that f6 break instead, like a knight c6 French. But bishop d3 and castle queenside. Okay, secure against e4 being a problem. But now h6 surely isn't effective of h-file. So I castle queenside, queen e2, that sort of thing. Knight g4 is not on f2 just yet. So rook e1 and okay. Small advantage here, rook e1 maybe. Pressure on e6. Rook h3, rook g3, bishop h6 doesn't do anything, loses a piece. But sort of, what do we sense from that? The king's a bit vulnerable somehow, maybe. Maybe rook h3, e5, and d takes there. It's rook h3, g3. It's knight h5. So more natural might be just h5 here. If h6 maybe takes, then the rook coming to. Yeah, I think I'll go for that. bishop sack, knight h7, rook h3. Oh, there's bishop g5 for check. So really my king needs to be on b1 to avoid backfire. Oh, no, knight h7, there's bishop h7. So maybe, yeah, maybe a bishop sack. There's knight g4, no, no. Okay, if he plays h6, I think I just take. Is he going to play h6 here? Seems a ready-made attack with that h4 pawn to play like this. Okay, now e6 is a bit vulnerable. So I think put pressure on e6 now at the same time. And h7 is going to be a liability surely. If he does take this h7 pawn. In fact, bishop f6. If bishop h5, bishop f6, or h5. If knight h5, then h7 is under fire after. So rook e6. He plays bishop f7. Maybe indeed rook h3 now is becoming tempting. Help double the rooks, rook g3. Or just h6 is a dangerous pawn like yesterday demonstrated. Could go just for a dangerous pawn. Bishop g6 is a tactical idea. Queen f4 to h4. Get this king out of the way, I think, tactically actually. Then maybe queen f4 to h4. Queen f4, h4, knight u5. Takes on e7. So that's good for the queen, this square, surely. Queen f4. If knight h5, queen h4. Queen f4 to h4 looks strong. If h6, I think I just take. I don't really want to block my h-file or form pawn, but I think this is tricky for him, but what's the way to proceed? I think queen f4 looks most tempting for queen h4. Followed by knight e5. Followed by knight f7. Okay, so queen f4 here. If knight takes h5, I can't believe that. Queen h4. Alright, so queen f4. Creating a battery, actually, on this, technically. This queen h4 manoeuvre is actually creating a battery. But what about just h6? If queen h4, h6, that looks silly then, the whole plan. H6 here, g6 without knight h4. It could be time for h6. I think I'll play it. Form pawn time, block my own attack. Because knight h4 is possible for bishop g6. Knight h4 attacks my queen. So for the moment, I think queen d2, or in fact knight e5, take as a pin. Knight h4, knight h5 is annoying. Queen g3, knight h5, maybe rook h5, g takes. It's almost mating on there. I think I'm going to do that as a positional sack. Rook h5. Put my queen there. Knight h5, rook h5. Okay, I'm not mating on g7, but things look weaker. Getting this knight into the attack, knight e2 to f4, bishop g6, also e6, e6 and g6, and this diagonal, and this g7 square, point of interest, knight e2 to f4. If bishop d6, queen h4, actually isn't knight e5 almost on cards? I think no, this knight is not doing anything here. What is it doing? It's not on guard g2 for anything, it's not defensive. Knight e2 to f4 to bring it into the attack. And it says knight e4, bishop e4, no, knight e4. It's on defensive g2 for e4. So, okay. The exchange set isn't forced. I can actually just play queen h4, rook f3 though, bishop e7, bishop g6 takes h7. Queen h4 here. I think queen h4 here. Putting pressure on f6. So knight e5. Knight also putting protection on d4. So knight e5 for bishop g6. Looks beautiful. Knight e5 actually in this position. Okay. Time to get knight to g5, I think. Exchange off. Squares are a bit weakened. Dart squares. Knight g5. Okay, knight g5 threatens knight d5, as well as well, there's f4 as a clamp down on e5. Go for that one. So knight d5 is an immediate threat. There's queen f6. Okay. Knight e2 now. F3 is queen d4. It's knight e6 there. Might have to be content with that. Knight d4. I think I have to protect d4. Give up f2. So knight e2, I think. Not ideal. So he takes on f2. No, he doesn't take on f2. Right. So e4 looks like a menacing threat. So if I just take here for a moment. F3 just to neutralise this. F file. F2 is not a problem now. Knight takes a knight c1. Just try and use the e file, I think. There's knight g3 to e4 or knight c1. Knight c1 protects d3. I think knight c1 and also a2, which is good because that bishop's now putting position on the fire. Queen G3 to unpin. It's Rook E3. He wants to get a big D4 knight. If I take Queen G3, Rook E3, Knight E4, be on C7 as well. I think Queen G3. So I want to play Knight E4, block the E file next. Okay, he gets in Rook E3. I play Knight E4, or Queen C7, Knight E4, and then threatens Queen C7. Okay, Rook E3, Knight E4. I don't really want to take that to give Knight D4. Okay. So my Queen's free to actually threaten C7 here. So he protects C7 or he attacks A2. Might want to attack A2. Okay, both. Oh dear, because he's got Knight B4. So actually there's a check here on E5, so I can just take this, play F4. I'll just play to win that. Doesn't really matter about. Okay, if I get on this diagonal, it's Queen G5 as well. Queen G5, Queen E5. So I'm on that E3 pawn. If E2, Rook E1. So if Knight D4, Queen E5. If Knight B4, Queen E5. Otherwise Queen E3, get back defensively. Yeah, I think this pawn's pretty dangerous. Actually, here. It's a form pawn. So E2, Rook E1. Hopefully his position starts creaking. Looks to be losing a pawn there. I just get onto this diagonal. I think that'll be key. Hang on, why is he saying handshake? Oh, he's resigned. Oh. On YouTube. Okay, let's have a quick look at that then. Yeah, maybe that was a bit premature to resign. He didn't blunder his queen or anything. I know the pawn. I'm winning the pawn. So maybe he's just gutted about the pawn, perfectionist. But I'm not winning the queen or anything. Queen E3. Try and get back on the diagonal with Queen D2. His knight will be blocking the diagonal though. Premature resign, I would say. I think so. Queen E3, Knight D4. Not that easy. Mind you, I could take queens and then Rook E1. The knight's pretty good, the pawn's pretty good. I pick up a pawn, maybe it's going to be better for me, but I think you could have played on a bit. Comments or questions on YouTube? Thanks so much.